I wanna toast tonight. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Look what the cat dragging. Me and a couple friends. No need to settle down. My body don't know how. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. All right, we are gonna jump right in. I, for one, am right on the dot. I'm so proud of me because sometimes it be taking me forever to get like set up. Like I'm trying to like put in my the names and the details and all of the things. So I just had a thought if I should pin a comment, but I'm not even gonna worry about it. It's fine. Anyways, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Crystal the Goddess, the creator of The Healing House. The Healing House is a holistic health and wellness empire. Yes, empire. Okay, speaking it into existence because that's what it is. But we are committed to healing the mind, body, and spirit of every god and goddess who crosses our path. We do this a variety of ways. We have crystals, crystal jewelry, energy healing, chakra healing, sound healing, and a few other holistic wellness strategies and things like that. So we are here today for a Dynasty discussion. We actually haven't had a Dynasty discussion in a very long time. It's been a minute, but it don't matter, right? Because we're here today. We are coming back to discuss some things. And the topic I actually want to talk about today is showing up for yourself. Welcome. And in true Dynasty discussion form, go ahead and send this live to a friend. Let's share it with them. If you know someone who could benefit from a reminder to show up for themselves. So, and of course, I'm going to go ahead and look through my list as well to see who can I invite to the party. Mm-hmm. But let me see. Who do I want to invite? Yeah. Some folks aren't even showing up. Maybe they deleted their Instagram. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. We'll send it here. All right. So mine is sent. I hope yours is sent. And I'll go ahead. And while you're sending, I just want to say happy new moon day. Over here in Los Angeles, we had our new moon at 3 a.m. today. And so happy new moon. It's a great time to set some new intentions, set some new goals, release what no longer serves you. And that is kind of where we're going to start today. I wanted to be on a level of 100 when it comes to the transparency today, because we're talking about showing up for ourselves, and that is not always the easiest thing to do. And sometimes we got to fight through it, right? And y'all know me, I love to have notes and like my notebook and my, my steps, but I've also been trying to kind of transition away from using notes all the time. It kind of just, it feels like winging it, but also just like following spirit and whatever comes to mind for me. So, I don't have my notes, but we're still going to get into it. Now, like I said, considering, or in the level of full transparency, I wanted to start off with like where this came from. So we had our first ever OceanSide sound bath, which was a success. It was a success because it happened. It actually was supposed to happen last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, but the rain had me feeling uneasy, so I rescheduled it. And when I rescheduled it or postponed it to the following week, everybody that had RSVP'd before were not able to make it. And so this is where that transparency comes in, because I was feeling very like defeated, right? Like, dang, everybody can't make it. Should I just cancel it? Should I not do it? And I really had to like have this pep talk with myself, right? About like, do it anyways, right? Show up anyways, show up for yourself. But I was down to one person that was coming to the sound bath, and I was like, you just kind of, you're your biggest critic. And so I was kind of just being really hard on myself, like, ugh, right? Like, you feel like you failed. But I had to remind myself, like, this is my first, this is the beginning of my journey, right? As an entrepreneur, especially as I'm doing more sound baths right now. Like, this is just the beginning. And that's what I had to keep telling myself. But I cannot lie to y'all when I say, like, I was so nervous, because I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of people flake on me. I've had people flake the day of, hours before, like, regardless, right? No matter the time frame, I've had people flake. And so I was still nervous that, like, what if this one person who is still coming, what if they don't show up? And that was constantly, like, in my mind. And I just had to tell myself, like, okay, so what? We're going to do it anyways, right? We're going to go through it. If nobody shows up, then it'll just be practice, right? It'll just be content. Like, we'll make the most out of it. We'll make the best out of the situation, whatever the situation happens to be, right? Like, don't worry about that. And I was also trying to push that out of my mind, because obviously it's not a positive mindset to have, but that was my reality, right? Just like constantly battling, if not a 50-50 battle, the negative self-talk was, it was high, maybe 75. So I'm in Los Angeles, and I did my sound bath in Long Beach at the beach. And so fast forward, I get to the beach, I'm setting up early, more thoughts, right? So I'll fast forward through the thoughts, but I'm setting up early, and people are like showing interest as they're walking by. They're nodding. I had some Black women like speak and ask questions like, what are you doing? What is this? Like, just super interested, super curious. And then as I'm like done setting up, I'm setting up my camera so I can like get some content. I wanted to record all of it and so I could post it online, but that didn't happen. I got half of it. But as I'm setting up, another older Black woman walks up, and she's like excited. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, you're doing sound baths? I love sound baths. And so we start having conversation, and we're just finding like so many things that we have in common. She has like a women's group, and this was like her goal. And she was telling me like her expectations for her group and what she wants to do with their group. And I'm like, that's amazing, because I also have a women's group, and I'm also big on bringing women together and connecting and fellowshipping and things like that. We talked about how resistant our communities are against like energy work and spirituality, and we talked about that whole thing. She was sharing like a Christian perspective, and we just had so much great conversation. And she was just like, you know what, like, I'm gonna join you today. Like, I love sound healing, I want to record you. She's like, I brought my cousin here, she was with me, like, she's gonna record, I'm gonna post it, I'm gonna tell everybody about it. And one of the things that we really connected on, she was like, I usually go to Malibu for my sound baths. And now that I know, like, I don't know anyone or see anyone around here that is local. And I was like, that is my issue. I said, I'm in Cerritos area, so I would do sound baths in Cerritos, like at a park. But a lot of things are always in LA, right? Everybody knows that LA is popping, it's popular, whatever. But it's LA and beyond. Santa Monica, Malibu, like Venice. A lot of the sound healing are just like big communities of Black, holistic, spiritual folks is so far away. And it's like, I should not have to drive 20, 30, not 20 minutes, that's nothing, but like an hour, 45, 30 minutes. Like, nobody wants to drive over there. It was super alignment, and I'm so big on like divine timing. And so what that was in that moment for me was confirmation. It was like, and this is why you have to show up regardless, right? Because you never know what opportunities are going to happen. So fast forwarding towards the end of our conversation, she stays, she does the sound bath. Before she leaves, my friend comes, and we're all talking. Now my friend is in the conversation, and she's also talking about like everything that she wants to do, and just, there was just so much collaborative convo that was happening. And I was just like, wow, like, this is amazing. Like, we definitely should link up. Like, a goal for me right now is linking up with other women, especially women who have businesses, because I do want to do some more sound baths, especially chocolate women and women of color and things like that. But we were just talking about like women supporting women, right? And it doesn't happen enough. We come into these spaces, and we all are in there with the intention of like, we're all going to meet each other and we're going to be great. And, you know, like, we leave, but people don't stay connected. That's what we talked about. Like, was a big challenge amongst like women of color. Like, we have a hard time staying connected. And how are we expecting to elevate, you know? And I'm like, I don't mind doing things by myself, but I really don't want to. Like, in this spiritual holistic wellness scene, like I want to have a team. I feel like we could all elevate each other, like, and get there quicker or do more work for our communities by working together. And so meeting her definitely felt like divine alignment. So then you fast forward, we're after the sound bath, and my friend, I'm meeting up with her to go to a brunch with her friends. Mind you, you know, a lot of us women, we stray away from that. We're like, I don't want to be around no new people. But I'm like, nah, my friend invited me, I'm going to go. I'm walking to the restaurant, no one's there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to stall and wait for everybody to show up. I see a crystal shop. I go into this crystal shop. It's a small owned business. The store owner, she's a Filipino woman. And when I walk in, she notices my crystal crown. And she's like, oh my gosh, love your crown. I'm going to help this lady out and I'm going to talk to you. So fast forward again. So I finally get to talk to her and she's like, tell me about your crown. Did you make it yourself? And I'm like, so we're talking and I'm like, yeah, no, like I didn't make it, but I outsourced them for my business. And I was telling her how I just did a sound bath. And she's like, wow, I just did this amazing retreat this weekend. It had sound healing and it had, what did she say? Breath work and like all these other like holistic modalities. And she was like, it was just so transformational. It was amazing. And I'm like, it sounds amazing. And then I noticed she has a terrarium station at her shop, and you can put your own rocks and you can put your own crystals, and it says like set an intention. Now I have been looking for something like this for a very long time, and so I'm telling her, like, do you do like workshops or classes, or like do you do these events for groups? Because again, I don't want to have to drive to Hollywood or Studio City, which is the only place I've seen it. Long story short, we're talking about collaborating and how like she has this vision of making these terrariums and then activating them. And so in my mind, I'm visualizing like, imagine women creating these terrariums like with their plants and succulents and air plants and things like that, with their crystals for their intentions. And then you set your terrarium next to you, and you and your terrarium receive this sound healing from the sound bath. And so like my mind is going, we're bouncing ideas off the wall. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do like a 1-day goddess retreat to align your chakras. I want to do this, this root chakra experience where you're creating your own terrariums, blah, blah, blah. We end up talking and we're like, yes, we got to collaborate. Now, here is the point of my life. That was a lot of context, okay? But here is the point, because why do we need to show up for ourselves? Because if we do not show up for ourselves, we will miss these opportunities for the universe to bless us. We will miss these opportunities for greatness, right? And collaboration and opportunity, and which I said, but I'm just thinking like, it's easy to feel defeated. It's easy to feel like, it's easy to talk yourself out of it. And one thing I know, and I know very well, is that the negative self-talk is real, okay? And one thing that we need to do is overcome that urge to let the voice win. Because sometimes the voice tells us we're too tired. Sometimes the voice tells us it'll be fine if you don't show up. It'll be fine if you don't do it. What's one more day? What's one more moment that you don't take advantage of the situation? What's one more moment you lay in bed, right? And it's like we don't realize all of the missed opportunities. Why? Because if you choose to miss those opportunities, you'll never know what you missed. And it's moments like this where you show up for yourself despite everything that you're feeling. You push through the negative self-talk and you realize like, wow, I really made 2 connections that I would have never made. And the interesting thing about the first woman who showed up to my sound bath, she was like, I just happened to be driving by. And I told myself, let me pull over, come out this car and come talk to this young lady to see what she has going on over here and how often she does this. And I was telling her, I said, that in itself, right? Because you could have been driving by and never stopped, and we would have never had this moment, right? And you just don't really know. Like, imagine all the stuff we miss out on. Imagine all these missed opportunities because we talk ourselves out of it. We allow ourselves to think like, I don't know, it sounds so bad, but it's not the best, like, thinking for ourselves. It's not the best outcome for ourselves, right? And like I said, it's so easy to let the negative self-talk win. But I really want to encourage us to like push through that. And even if you don't understand why, right? Like, I don't know. I felt weird. Like, why am I going to go? Like, even the way it took me to park. I was going to park somewhere else to go to brunch with my friend. And I literally was like in the middle, like double parked in the street, about to back into the spot. And Spirit was saying like, no, go look over there. And I'm like, well, why? There's a parking spot right here. Mind you, it was metered parking. And I'm like annoyed, right? But I'm like, whatever, it's metered parking. I'll just park right here. And it's like, oh, park over there. But it's like, why? This spot is closer. I don't see any spots over there. Oh, just park over there. Like, it might be something over there. So I go over there. Not only is the meter I find broken, it's the only meter there, but it's broken, so I don't have to pay. And it's as I'm walking up that I'm seeing all these shops. They have the mushroom shops, which I don't know if you're familiar, but the mushrooms are very popular right now. There's a lot of healing properties with all these different type of mushrooms. I actually just bought a tea that has like 4 major mushrooms in there, but mushroom shop, and then this crystal shop that I never would have saw because I would have been parking on the other side of the building. And so it just goes back into not only showing up for yourself, but listening to your first mind, as my mom used to say, and listening to spirit, listen to the voice in your head, listen to that intuition, right? It has a lot of names, but listening to your intuition and allowing that to guide you, right? Because so many times we shut that voice up and we ignore it and we ignore it. And I don't know about you, but every time I ignore it, I regret it. I instantly find out why I was not like, why that voice was so loud and why it was telling me what it was telling me. And I don't know. I said I was going to come on here on, they weren't even psychedelic mushrooms. Nope. They were like I forget, there was another word the guy used. They weren't even psychedelic. They were just, what did he call them? But he said like, no, they're non-psychedelic. They're just regular mushrooms that have, healing benefits. There's one of them that's like this all around, like master healer, like immunity booster. I know I received a little package, like it was a mushroom elixir, and it was like powdered, and you sprinkle it into your liquid. Like I've never used it, but you sprinkle it into your juice. Like it's like reishi mushrooms. That's one of the major ones in there. One of them starts with the N. But no, like mushrooms are really coming up right now. And so the store is like, it's called like shrooms, but it's not psychedelic mushrooms at all. And even then, right, like that even put me on, because then later that day or yesterday I went to Sprouts and that's where I found this tea. And I was like, let me look into these mushrooms real quick. And so I actually have a picture or a video of the mushrooms, and I'll post them too, that I found at Sprouts. And then you can like pause it and read it. But yeah, mushrooms are definitely coming up. And I don't know. I said I was going to go live on Sunday when I woke up, because Saturday was crazy with the sound bath and the brunching and everything. But I don't know. Like, Spirit just really wanted me to share that with y'all. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I just really wanted to remind you to, like, show up for yourself. Show some love to yourself and show up, you know, regardless of how you feel. Get dressed, you know, and then sometimes maybe you don't need to get dressed, but at least you showed up, right? However you need to show up. And like I said, show up. You can show up happy. You can show up sad. You can show up scared. You can pack your anxiety in your purse and bring it with you, because if I would be lying if I tell you I did not have a physical reaction about going to this sound bath, knowing I only had one person, and the anxiety was like, what if they flake on me and it's just me? What if they flake on me and no one shows up and I'm there by myself? Like, that's where the anxiety was coming from, like the what ifs. And it was like, don't worry about it, just go, right? And I think it's so cute for me to say, pack that anxiety in your purse and show up, because we're acknowledging that it exists. And I'm not telling you to ignore it. I'm telling you to push through it. And we all have different levels of anxiety, but it's like, if we could just push through that, or do whatever it is that you need to do that makes it tolerable, right? Like, there's something beautiful on the other end. It's like getting to the other end of the rainbow. And I just really wanted to share that with y'all. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for engaging with me. Like I said, we haven't done a Dynasty discussion in a very long time. And I think I'm just kind of wondering what all I want to discuss as the Healing House is transitioning away from what it was last year to what it will be this year. And even I need to put my countdown because we have a major kepra, which is a transformation as we call it in ancient Kemet. But we have a major kepra coming up, a major transformation coming up for the Healing House. And I'm super excited about that. And as much as I want to tell y'all all the business, I'm going to hold off. But I will put a timer up so that you all can know something's coming. And I mean, you won't be able to ignore it, but at least you can raise some anxiety and look forward to it with me. But again, happy new moon. I hope you all, if you haven't already, spend some time today in your journals, write down some affirmations. Because number one, today is the day of our solar plexus, which is where we house our power. So speak some powerful affirmations to yourself, write them down, but also set some intentions for this new moon cycle. Okay. Today's new moon is in Scorpio. Boop, 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 boop. I'm a Scorpio, so shout out to that. But take advantage of this new moon energy. Set some new intentions. Set some goals for yourself. Also write down some things that you want to release. What are some things that we are leaving behind? And when I talk about negative self-talk, I am leaving it, baby. I am leaving you. This is a toxic relationship, and I am breaking up with you. I am leaving negative self-talk behind. I am leaving self-doubt behind. Like, I release all of that into the universe. Now go be something great because you cannot live here anymore. Express some gratitude today. What are some things that you're grateful for? Because in order for us to raise our vibrations to meet the things that we desire, it helps to show gratitude for what you already have. So express some gratitude, write down some things that you release, and set some new intentions for this new lunar cycle. And I will see you all in the cyberverse. Thank you all for joining me. Have a good night. I'm Crystal the Goddess, and I will see you later. Bye.